3:43 p.m. Thursday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2022. uh, I don't think I have much on world events to say. I haven't seen anything of particular interest. Looks like Elon Musk is going to be the interim CEO of Twitter, which is fine. It's going to be interesting to watch. Excuse me. So, scrolling through other stuff on YouTube and catching some of the wrestling channels talking about Dynamite and stuff that went on. I caught the Wardlow and William Morrissey match in its entirety, apparently, on YouTube here because they posted it on the AEW channel. I also got a chance last night to watch the Ty Conti, Sammy Guevara mixed tag championship match from AAA. That was an interesting match. Ty is getting so good. She's a good partner for Sammy. Some of her flipping to the outside of the ring stuff that she did, I think she actually has better trajectory control and a better sense of not getting hurt than he does. So that'll be interesting to watch. What I really wanted to talk about, though, was a lesser-known female talent in AEW and her progression, because I've seen a lot of people making comments on these channels that they're not really getting the full experience with this girl. So here's the thing. In the field of professional wrestling, there are a lot of different types of movesets or styles or whatever. And I'm not going to get into all of them. There is one style that comes out from time to time, usually only one girl at a time, lady, one competitor at a time, pretty much on the scene. Comes out with this one particular style. And, honestly, have even seen this style done once by a man or male or someone in the men's competition, because this person is like non-binary or something anyway. But what I'm talking about is the cheerleader style. And you go, oh, okay, wait, what? Professional wrestling cheerleader style? Yes. So, one of the referees in AEW, I think right now she might be the only female referee, Aubrey Edwards, is a trained dancer. You can see in her movements in the ring how she gets out of the wrestler's way, how she conducts herself, her stance and everything. She's always on balance. She's always on form. She's a dancer. A couple of other performers also have a lot of dance. It really helps. Pretty sure Kenny Omega's got some dance experience. Red Velvet, a lot of dance. Some of the females that have come through in the past few years on a lot of the dark shows to do job work that they've come out of the indies or whatever, have also done kind of a pseudo pole dancing based dance sequence. So that's fairly common to see these days. It's just like, you used to hear back in the day it was kind of a joke at first, and then you realize, no, that's actually pretty cool, is that a football player's taking ballet. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to move better. So, but then there's the cheerleading style. The cheerleading style is a little bit different. Typically, there's a lot of splits. Oftentimes, these involve a trope in the women's wrestling that is, you get them in the corner and you run along the rope to the next corner over, bounce, and then come back, and there's usually some kind of a big pump kick or something. This is basically competitors who are physically smaller, not necessarily as heavy, don't have the same kind of mass for the same kind of impact. So it's like, if you have two dudes and they're both in like the 300-pound range or something, and one of them collides with another, you've got 300 pounds hitting 300 pounds, and there's massive impact of energy. Two smaller competitors, generally speaking, slamming into each other or whatever, don't have the same impact. And so it's like they're not necessarily less tough or weaker with less stamina or whatever for being the smaller competitors. It's just that they don't have the same kind of mass, right? So in women's wrestling, there is a lot more creative work done to. It's like, using the ropes to gain speed so that your impact hits more. There's other lots of rope work, lots and lots of rope work. Good women's wrestling is either going to have some good chain wrestling in the ring, but it's also going to include rope tricks. And this doesn't mean jumping off and doing flips necessarily. What this means is like using the rope as a weapon so that you collide them into the steel cable underneath of that colored wrap, turnbuckle stuff, the aforementioned slingshot moves, and like I said, oftentimes it's basically one at a time. You'll get someone. Now we've had about two at a time. Right now there's technically, I believe, three in AEW. First one in was Penelope Ford. She is a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. She is a fully trained professional football NFL cheerleader who then transitioned to professional wrestling. My personal rating on her style is that she's good at taking the bumps. There was a questionably legitimate of integrity organization called New England Female Wrestling that involved a lot of what you would call private dark matches or request matches. There was some other stuff that borders on soft porn. And most of the women who perform in wrestling who were from the previous, I would say probably the 2010 through 2020 for sure. Anyone who was in the business may have worked for them at some point, under various names depending. So in the case of AEW's roster, the former roster member Big Swole under her WWE name of Ariel, which is her real name, is on that roster. Penelope Ford, Thunder Rosa, I think Taya Valkyrie might have been in there. What's that? Lots of indie darlings. What's her name? Shauna was in it. She's no longer with AEW. Turned out she liked to get a little too rough with the jobbers. Yeah, baby. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I have seen some of the best talent in female wrestling do these weird dark matches for this other company, and nobody wants to talk about it. So obviously, there's something questionable about it, right? But what I have seen is that, like for example, Penelope Ford in that company typically was always on the losing end of things. She was typically in the ones that I won't say that they were pornographic, but they were definitely, she was being dominated in the ring by another woman. Oftentimes Thunder Rosa, who comes off as a total dom. But anyways, most of these girls or women now wrestle in AEW. I believe what happened is possibly Brandy Rhodes' influence, honestly, is a positive thing she may have done for the company. And also, Tony Khan probably was aware of this and was like, yeah, ladies, any of you that want to work here and not have to do that kind of shit, come here. Got a job for you. So that was the thing I noticed early on, is that there were a ton of ladies that were from these other questionable underground side projects, as well as, being big names on the indie scene. And that's where, like I said, I've seen that Penelope Ford really does know how to take the bumps. She knows how to take every single move. So if she's on the losing end of the match, she's going to be the one that makes the opponent look like a complete and total monster. Just got destroyed. When it comes to her winning, it seems like she has about 5 moves that she does. It's all timed out. She's really good at these exhibition squash matches with the performance aspect, but as far as actual like chain wrestling, I've never really seen her do a lot of good work on that. Then there's Sunny Kiss. Sunny Kiss wrestles the men's division. Sunny has stated, call me he, she, it, I really don't care. Sunny comes off as kind of effeminate, but very masculine at the same time. I don't know how to dresses very cute, I guess. And wrestles a very cheerleader style, but also can do some chain wrestling, can do a lot of cool acrobatic top rope stuff, and is incredibly fit and strong. So there's a lot of things that can be done there, right? Sunny Kiss has got a lot of potential. Right now, hanging out almost exclusively on Dark, not really doing much else. Was in a tag team with Joey Janela, who was previously in a tag team with Penelope Ford. The whole thing is that Joey's kind of a modern indie loose cannon copy of Macho Man Randy Savage. He had this cheerleader girlfriend that he was actually in a relationship with, and apparently there was some actual Macho Man kind of problems, if you know about his history with Miss Elizabeth. And she was kind of his gorgeous George, I guess. And so anyways, then she separated from him, ended up getting with and apparently marrying Kip Sabian. Now Kip's hanging out in the audience with a bag on his head, some long-term gimmick that he's not wrestling, nothing's happening, I don't know. He was supposed to be one of the original pillars. He was pretty good when he started. He was actually the first match, him and Sammy Guevara. So when AEW even had shows, he was the first televised match. So anyways, moving on to the one I'm actually talking about, though. That is Julia Hart. She came out. She is not related to the Hart Foundation, the Hart family of wrestlers out of Canada that I'm aware of. She's from Minnesota. If she is related, it's a distant cousin thing that nobody really knows anybody. She is herself a champion cheerleader from competitive cheerleading, not necessarily the same kind of thing as Dallas Cowboys kind of NFL thing, but a lot of those cheerleaders are also similarly, you get noticed in competitions or whatever. So Julia Hart is a champion competition cheerleader. She is extremely athletic. She is not built like a bimbo. She is not I don't want to say she's the traditional pretty girl type. She's very cute, but she doesn't play that off. She dresses like the cheerleader. Sometimes it looks like maybe she's going to rip your throat out. She started off doing the little happy thing. People were talking smack about, what they thought was going on between the Varsity Blondes, who were she's kind of their valet, but she also wrestles. Brief story or history on the Varsity Blondes. Griff Garrison, and I've spoken on this before, but it's been a while. Griff Garrison's this tall, rangy kid, not very old, still fairly new to the business. He's pretty good, and he's got, I think, a long way to go, in a good way. He has been tagged as a partner with Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman Jr. is the son of a famous professional wrestler off of WCW and WWF back in the day. Well known for being kind of a crazy loose cannon character, convinced WCW to let him fake out WWE by, making it look like he quit the thing and going to them and messing with them and then coming back. And what he actually did was use that as an excuse to get out of a non-compete and immediately transition to a company with a better offer. And then on there, he had been teamed with Stunning Steve Austin. They were called the Hollywood Blondes. So the Varsity Blondes is the throwback to the Hollywood Blondes. Well, what happened was that Stunning Steve Austin separated from that. He became the ringmaster after that. And after being the ringmaster for a little bit, transitioned to color scheme change and a little bit different attitude. And glass breaks, music plays, Stone Cold Steve Austin storms out, beer cans in hand. So his former tag partner in the Hollywood Blondes, Brian Pillman, ended up passing away, drug overdose or something. He was kind of unstable. One of his memorable things was that there was an angle where he had supposedly invaded Stone Cold's house while Stone Cold was on TV, and there's this whole thing with Pillman and a pistol in his hand and going psycho, and it's meme-worthy. So there were rumors about Garrison and Pillman and Julia, but just I think it was just people talking shit. I don't really know what the deal was with it. I don't think I care. So what ended up happening was eventually AEW brings in a bunch of released WWE wrestlers, mostly off of their NXT lineup, people that we're friends with and previous coworkers with, a lot of the guys, including some of the EVPs from AEW. So you get the likes of Aleister Black, became Malachi Black. House of Black is his thing. He's got a couple of his buddies from the other company that got released and come to work with him. And his whole thing now is that he's doing storytelling. He's going around trying to corrupt various people, and he's just, he's sowing chaos. It's like, we're going to mess with this person. You're going to Now they're going to slowly transition after the poison hits. And so they blackmisted Julia Hart. It was meant for Pillman. Pillman was supposed to have the character change turn and whatever. Well, the word in the industry is that Pillman smokes way too much weed. He's not that bright. And while he looks like his dad and is an excellent athlete, you need to be able to be psychological in the ring. And he doesn't have that at this time. So he's languishing in obscurity because he's not as good as his dad, I guess. Which sucks. Maybe he'll get better. Griff's pretty good. Griff's in with the Sammy Guevara Vlog crew. And like I said, I think Griff's got a bright future too. He just... Right now, it's like they paired him with Pillman because Pillman needed somebody that was good to help back him up, and Griff knows what he's doing. The original jokes were that Griff having this big old long flowing curly hair and being kind of a tall skinny guy is that they would see him from the back, and the Dark Order was trying to get Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, son of actor Luke Perry, in real life. They were trying to get him to join their group, and every time they'd be like, oh, see, we got Jungle Boy, there he is, and they walk in and turn him around, and it's Griff Garrison. They'd be like, oh, Jungle Boy, hey, what's up? And he goes, I'm not Jungle Boy, I'm Griff Garrison. And then the whole joke is, well, who the fuck is Griff Garrison? So I think he had a shirt with a censored who the F is Griff Garrison or whatever. It was great. He's hilarious. Good sport. Good worker. So anyways, Julia started off as a decent worker. You could see her cheerleader style, and she did a couple of things slightly differently than what some of the other cheerleader wrestlers have done in the past. And then she does some little bit of dance stuff with it too. So the thing is that the story I think is that unless they did this on purpose, what it seems like, because it looked like a botch, it looked like Pillman was supposed to be in one spot and he wasn't. And that meant that he was supposed to jump in front of Julia or something was going to happen or whatever, but she ended up catching the black mist and it didn't hit anyone square. It was supposed to be all over Pillman's face, maybe get to watch him get dark and turn into a heel and steal him and all this other whatever. But because they didn't get the footage of it, they didn't get and this was live when it happened on TV. What happened was that Julia caught the mist instead, just a glancing off the side. So what's been happening is that she starts wearing an eye patch. Well, they were doing eye patches all over the place. Mox got it. What was it? I think Rey Mysterio Jr. in WWE was wearing an eye patch for a minute because there was some business about his eyeball popping out, but I don't even think that was real. And but so they're doing kayfabe eye patch routines, and I was like, not another one. But what's ended up happening is that Julia keeps wearing this damn eye patch, and every time she comes out for anything, and the thing is, most of the appearances that she makes are on Dark, which is filmed at Universal Studios Orlando in the AEW zone or whatever, or Elevation, which is also on the road with the Dynamite and Rampage crew, because they shoot all three of those shows, and sometimes Dark gets shot with that group as well, where if they're doing one stop per week, they will have the live show of Dynamite. Before that, they will shoot Elevation to warm the crowd up. Then they'll do Dynamite. Then they will change it out to Rampage and run Rampage. Sometimes they will do Elevation and Dark matches in between and after, or just after. What ends up happening is on a single day, they will work from about noon to about 4 a.m. Not everybody working that long. Some people will be. They probably have shifts on cameras and other stuff and whatever, but they will get their Friday night Rampage filmed at the same live event Coliseum full of people who bought one set of tickets for 1 day a week work for this company. They work 1 day a week unless they go to Universal Studios and do Dark. And I'm not sure what the full AEW zone thing at Universal. It's the old NWA stage. It's shot very similarly, including Tony Schiavone doing promos in the ring after the match with the people who competed. And I think there might be a meet and greet aspect or something. It's very personal. Seriously, the crowd is less than 100 people. And it is a small studio audience for this little thing. And it airs on YouTube every Tuesday night. If they don't shoot it like that, they will shoot it like Elevation with the live crowd. It depends on if they're doing 2 days a week. Sometimes they do. Where they will have one stop somewhere in, wherever. And they will do Dynamite. And then they will do like Elevation. And then after that, they will move on for their Friday night show. And because the people paid for more than just the 1 hour, you'll get like dark matches plus Rampage and then some dark matches. And basically, I think anybody who bought a ticket is probably free to stick around for whatever. So they will do these enormous mass production. I don't want to say the wrong word for the algorithm. For you use the word shoot for television with cameras, a mass production of shows, we'll say. And so in and amongst all of this, most of the time that you see Julia Hart, she is on Elevation or Dark, which are YouTube shows. But she does get the TV time because Malachi Black and the House of Black are on TV. So what's been going on is literally every single time that Julia Hart has appeared, at least twice, if not 3 to 4 times a week. Because sometimes they're like, oh, she's only 2 times a month on Dynamite on TV. So somebody's comment said, and it's like, yeah, dude, but she's literally on 2 other shows a week. She's everywhere on the YouTube side of it. She's honing her craft. She's new to the game. She's getting really, really good at what she does. She doesn't just do the rehearsed routine of 5 moves in order to win. She's learned how to chain wrestle. She's learned how to do submission. She does a little bit of top rope, but not a whole lot. She's learning the rope tricks. She's learning how to be a great female wrestler so that the roster needs strong female competitors, not just girls that know how to take bumps or do a set of moves. And they have some who are both. So this girl's got a bright future. This is what I keep saying. And a lot of other people are saying it too. But then there's always the detractors who don't get it. So what's been going on is that every single time that she comes out from one of these dark match episodes, whether it's Elevation or Dark itself, she's got the eye patch on. But not only that, she's got some kind of weird makeup business with the black ooze tearing down or whatever. But the thing is, it's slightly different every time. And I would guess that if you were to take every single time that she stands there with the eye patch and the makeup visible on a front single frame camera thing, you could say Julia Hart's facial expression never changes, and you can show her face with the pout or the pissed off like that she does when she's won or whatever, unless she grins because she just beat piss out of somebody. But basically, you can take the same face and the same you win from every single thing that she does. I would venture to say you probably watch an animation of the black stuff rolling down. That it's slightly different, but it's kept as like frame by frame. There is some kind of long-term storytelling going on with Julia Hart. I believe Malachi Black himself is behind the writing of that storyline. So these people that are dissing on her being on TV 2 times a month, and of course it's long-term slow turn because we have no idea it's taken. No. She's performing frame by frame the slow turn 2 times a week, if not 3 or 4. You're just not seeing those main times or the main frames of animation. You're only seeing the little glimpses. And I believe that she is being trained and honed and instructed by one of the best storytellers and wrestlers in the current crop. A lot of these detractors don't seem to realize that it's probably Mr. Black himself, because that's why he came to the company, was he wanted creative freedom and storytelling. He's known as a storyteller, so now he's telling a story with Julia. So I like the story. I like where it's going. Sometimes she doesn't wear her cheerleader gig. She just wears a black skirt and halter. And then she changes into her cheerleader thing to come out and do the wrestle. And you watch her look very, okay. She's not like, yay, cheerleader here to like she used to be. Now she's just pissed off. There's something dark, And then she gets into the wrestling part. And she's winning the matches. She's winning them handily, but not, she's not just, squashing them every single time. There's a little competition in it. Got to be able to make the other wrestler look decent before you really crush them. But then the other thing is that she's getting good at portraying a mean streak, a real mean streak. She's doing it in the ring. It looks good. It's not her actually hurting anyone. She's what do they call it? Working the strikes and blows and things, but it looks really good. She's got some split moves that she does that are not quite the same thing as where, basically I've started the story about Sonny Kiss teaming with Joey Janela. Joey's no longer with AEW. He basically replaced Penelope with Sonny for almost the exact same moveset. The same kind of finishers, the same everything. So, yeah, whatever, And then it left, and now, wait to see what happens with Sonny. Meantime, Julia's doing some real learning, some real change. She's learning how to storytell and craft the thing from Mr. Black, I believe. And it's been really cool to watch, even though most people aren't seeing it, like I said. So keep your eye out. Julia Hart is kind of the future of the women's division, I think. She's really showing some mean spirit in the ring. Looks really good. It's kind of like watching Brock Anderson, son of the legendary Arn Anderson. Uh, he's learning. He's getting better for sure. He's pretty good. I mean, his dad's taught him a lot of cool stuff, and he's obviously seems like a smart guy. He's not an idiot. He's ring awareness is becoming obvious. He's really just wait, right? And his in the corner shoulder rams, they're so crisp, they're snappy. Looks like he's just like blah right in. He's not hurting anyone. That's the point. And Julia's learning this very well too. So, in closing, while there is a cheerleader style that you often see portrayed, do not assume that when you see this one cheerleader with the eye patch come out, that you're going to get the same style of match, because she is legit telling little micro chapters of a very long-term story where eventually she's going to end up leaving these two guys that are never going to go anywhere in the business, join House of Black, and become their like death diva or whatever. She's going to be some kind of greatness in a few years, and she's already showing signs of it. So, thank you for your time. This has been my TED Talk on Julia Hart.